Welcome back, everybody, to more Yu-Gi-Oh! The Falsebound Kingdom. Today, we're going to be continuing from Yugi's campaign into Kaiba's. This officially activates the game's challenge mode system, and we will be running through the higher difficulty. Monsters will be scaled up to match the ones that we built up in our last campaign. All monsters that we recruited from Yugi's campaign carry over to Kaiba's, and this is actually really good because it means we'll be able to take advantage of Kaiba's monsters and Yugi's monsters as Kaiba recruits more troops. I will be trying my best to show off every possible recruitment of a monster in Kaiba's campaign. If I cannot recruit a monster, I will let you know. But from now on, here we go. Let's get started. Those who claim to control the gods are in fact controlled by the gods. Alexander Irvine, philosopher. This is the SIC research facility. What a cheap looking building. Yeah, because this totally looks cheap. Mr. Raisin, how are you? Yeah! What's up, you cringy K-pop? How you doing? And it took forever to get here. I know. If this didn't have something to do with duel monsters, I would have turned them down right away. SIC does the same kind of work as Kaiba Corporation, but it's an American company, right? Right. Their involvement in duel monsters is not something they advertise. But the company is world-renowned overseas for its incredibly realistic imaging and virtual reality technology. It's not really a game company. It's more like a scientific center for imaging technology research. Played a game with better graphics and maybe in the last 5-10 years. Well, wait till we finish this game. I guarantee you I will. But their technology may be able to help improve the dual disc, right? That's the impression I got. The invention says they want to show me a new product and discuss a joint venture. It sounds like they're ready to test their prototype. Let's just see what they have to show us. We can figure out what we want to do after that. Thank you for coming, Mr. Kaiba. My entire staff and I would like to welcome you. Isono? I didn't expect to run into you here. So this is where you've been working since you left Kaiba Corp. I did enjoy working for you, Mr. Kaiba. Whatever relationship we had ended when you left Kaiba Corp. I don't care what you do with your life. Alright, let's get this over with. What is it you want to show me? It's right inside, sir, if you'll just follow me. We've asked the president of Kaiba Corporation here today so that he can evaluate SIC's latest invention. All of us here at SIC are very excited about today's test. We're looking forward to collaborating with Kaiba Corporation on game technology development. Let's cut to the chase here, shall we? You need investment capital to sell your technology. You want to use duel monsters to help you sell it because you need a product tie-in, right? And you figured you could use me since I've invested so much money in duel monsters already. Well, your silence speaks volumes. As it turns out, I need some new tech anyway. So I might as well take a look. Is this it? Yes. This is SIC's latest simulator. Codenamed Kingdom. Just what are you trying to pull? It looks just like our dual discs. This is just a prototype. We're only using the dual disc for packaging reasons. It's all original SIC hardware on the inside.
How is it different from a dual disc?
For starters, Kingdom is not set up to use cards. The disc is just a terminal to the Duel Monster world, which is created by the SIC supercomputer. By allowing players to enter the world, the game can support multiple players at a time. The world has already been constructed. We'd just like you to play the game as you normally would.
It sounds like a network game or something. I see. It certainly sounds different from the Duel Monsters we know today.
Kingdom is a fantasy world. The card monsters there are alive. The empire that rules that world is currently dealing with a population on the brink of revolt. The two of you will join that world and try to complete the game. Of course, you'll both participate in the game as different characters. The game is currently set for a few hours, and we'll be recording your play data from here.
It sounds fun. Let's play.
Okay. Something about this doesn't feel right. Izono is up to something. It's no coincidence that one of my former employees is involved.
After all, he headed up the development of the dual disc and the dual computer.
If you recall correctly, actually, that's a flat-out fucking lie. Izono was just head of Kaiba's personal security. Because that's the character model they're using, was the character artist concept for Kaiba's head of security and chief assistant. Not the head of dual disc development and dual computer creation.
SIC. That has to stand for something. But what? Wasn't it that other guy's name?
Year 336 of the Siegvarth's Empire. After 300 years of ruling the Rondaval continent, the Siegvarth's Empire is faced with a crisis. Since the 12th Emperor Heishin ascended to the throne, corruption and brutality have spread through the Empire. People feel suppressed, but their complaints have fallen on deaf ears. Heishin and a select group of his underlings have been living in the lap of luxury. Their lavish lifestyle, supported by heavy taxation, has pushed most of the population to the brink. The people on the fringes of the Empire have responded with open rebellion and revolt. And at the capital city of Siegvarth...
Trouble?
Kingdom Simulator Overload. Safety lock engaged. Beginning transition to Mode 2. Transition to Mode 2 complete. Kingdom Simulator lock-in mode activated.
What the...
Ugh! Kaiba? Wrong? Kaiba? Kaiba, what's wrong? Please, look at me.
Ugh, my head.
What's wrong? You just collapsed all of a sudden.
Where am I?
Where are your manners, Kaiba? You stand before the Emperor. This is the capital city of Siegvarth, and we are in the Imperial Palace. We were in the middle of a meeting with His Highness before you passed out. Don't you remember?
No, I don't. I don't remember anything.
Pull yourself together, man. I expect more from the head of my Imperial Guard and my best warrior. Let's go over the plan again for Kaiba's sake. Listen well, if you know what's good for you. We've gotten reports of a fairly large revolt taking place on Maria Den, the plains in the north. There are several marshals assisting the resistance army there. We must capture them. None of my other generals seem up to the task. So, Kaiba, I want you to hunt them down. Take the Imperial Guard and strike fear and strike the fear of the Empire. Well, don't you have something to say?
I believe Lord Kaiba is still not himself. Perhaps he is suffering fatigue from his strenuous activities. Hello, Pebbles. How's my Peebles?
Your Highness, Lord Kaiba's present condition makes me a little anxious about leaving this entirely in his hands. With your permission, I would like to accompany him and offer my support. I understand. Permission granted. I trust you do not have a problem with this, Kaiba.
Sure.
You're right. Kaiba is acting strangely. Do not let me down, Marthus. Yes, sir. Let's just declare that publicly in front of fucking everybody and not really have a shift about it.
Sato!
Mokuba! Mokuba! You're here too?
Yes! It looks like I'm a member of the Imperial Guard, and I report directly to you. This place is unbelievable. For a virtual reality program, it sure is realistic.
It's a bit too realistic. I don't get the feeling we're in control of this game at all. I think it's safe to say that we've been trapped in this world. That was probably the plan all along. Just wait until I get my hands on that wretched Zono!
While you were at your meeting, I did some research. In this world, dual monster duelists are called marshals.
Heishin used that word in my meeting with him.
Marshals are like generals, and are the central player of each battle in this world. Marshals have a special power over monsters, so instead of soldiers, they command teams of monsters. Since each monster can do the damage of many human soldiers, the fate of the battle is decided by the marshals. Marshals are also extremely rare. We're the only two in the Imperial Guard.
That's actually bullshit. There's a shitload in the Imperial Guard, so the game's kind of lying. Ain't Mokuba just a little kid? Why have a kid in the military? Oh wait, child soldier. To be fair, this is a children's game, so he probably is not seen as a child to most of the AIs.
Each marshal can control a team with up to 3 monsters. Each team has 1 monster leader, and the speed of the team is determined by that leader.
I see. I guess we'll have to figure out the rest as we fight.
How did this happen to us?
I don't know, but it looks like we're stuck playing the roles we've been assigned for now. Isono did say it was a game, so maybe if we play the game all the way to the end, we'll find a way to get out.
Oh, that's what's hitting me.
Hang on.
Last thing you ever want to do is mess with a live wire. So don't mess with it, lock it down. That's right. Every game has got to have an ending.
Well, I'm not entirely sure, but playing this game out seems to be our only option right now. He's actually correct. For now, just playing along makes sense. Since you're not quite well yet, allow me to explain our strategy. This is a map of the Empire of the on the Rondeval continent, and here is the Mariaden Plains. This is where they are revolting. Mariaden revolt is quite large, but our Imperial Guard should be able to quell it easily. The Emperor's orders are to wipe out the resistance forces completely, so that they never think of revolting again. This is your chance to prove yourself in something other than drills, Kaiba! Keep your opinions to yourself. Now continue. Since you're not feeling 100% right now, remember to be careful when assembling your teams. You can have up to 3 teams, since you, Mokuba, and I are all marshals. The enemy is supposed to have several marshals as well, but there'll be no match for us, as long as you don't drop the ball. Go ahead and assemble your teams. A man as skilled as yourself will create some exceptional teams, I'm sure. Well, he's not entirely wrong there. So, Kaiba has the Master of the Egyptian God's power, and since we now have access to the obelisk item, if we give it to one of his monsters, we can use it right away. Kaiba starts with 2 monsters from his original anime deck and 1 monster that comes from Bones' deck. I don't know why he has a monster from Bones here, but he does. Crawling Dragon, Hitatsumi Giant, and Sagi the Dark Clown. Sagi is Kaiba's throwaway monster. The only good thing about Sagi is his defense. Everything else about this monster is flat out fucking garbage. Rattle me bones! Oh god. So, let's also take a look at the fact that we have our old monsters if we want them. And what you're going to see me do real quick here is I'm going to go through all the critters that once belonged to Yugi's forces, and I'm actually going to strip them of their items because I am going to create a whole assortment of entirely new teams as best I can. I might use a few of Yugi's old staples with certain characters, but the majority of my monsters are going to be new, and Kaiba is actually going to need the items from Yugi's monsters in order to be able to perform well. We will be showing off Kaiba's most powerful monster. Expect the Illusory Gentleman to make more appearances, by the way. That monster is just too good not to use. If you want to make Sagi the Dark Clown halfway useful, by the way, just give him a couple of, what do you call them? Books of Secret Arts. I won't be using any of Joey's monsters. I just don't think that I want to use any of his special creatures here. So the first few minutes of this particular video are basically going to be me stripping monsters and items, because you kind of have to do this on an individual basis. There's no other way to do it. The game doesn't have an option for you to just pull them all off. I might use some of Joey's creatures depending on what I really want out of here. Mystic Horseman is also probably going to see more use. I know that I said get ready to see all of them lose their use. Nah, a few of them I actually might still use. Gazelle is another one that I kind of want to continue to use as well, because we can pick up Baphomet in this campaign very quickly. Octoburster, like the only good water monster I ever got. I hope you enjoyed my spam of the Harpy Ladies last time. I'm not going to be using them this time, just in case you don't do Kaiba's campaign first. Or you do Kaiba's campaign first, rather. Another thing to note is Gate Guardian. In order to be able to get to Gate Guardian, you have to use at least... You have to go through Yugi and Kaiba's campaigns both, because the game will force you to, by virtue of how that team is set up. Virtually every team that's actually super strong and really powerful that creates powerhouse monsters, you actually have to go through somebody else's campaign in order to get them. For instance, Gemini Elf. If you want to be able to use the Gemini Elf double attack, yeah, guess what? You kind of have to go earn that. The game doesn't just hand that to you. You have to go earn that by finding it and by finding Gemini Elf in Joey's campaign, which is, to me, kind of a real dick move, because Joey's campaign cannot be played until you have played all of the other campaigns. Straight up. Alright, so for now, the monsters that I'm going to give Kaiba are probably going to be Mystic Horseman, just because this really is one of Kaiba's monsters. Hitatsumi Giant is ass. Kaiba has a light blue element, okay. I don't want to give him Beaver Warrior. I could give him Gaia the Fierce Knight. Make sure you get consent before you strip the monsters. Oh my god, you went there. You really fucking went there. have bought too many blue medicines. I'm starting to think I did. A lot of the monsters that I'll be giving him are just going to be temporary. I kind of want to give him Dark Elf and see how she'll perform, but Dark Elf I actually have plans for somebody else to use. We'll give him Harpy's Pet Dragon. Harpy's Pet Dragon is a decent monster. This guy, by the way, he starts with 3 really lame monsters. Dark Plant, Dark King of the Abyss, and Water Girl. Don't use Marthas. Marthas won't stick with you for very long. Mokuba starts with Armored Lizard, which is one of Joey's monsters, 3-headed Guido, and Zaragan. Armored Lizard is okay. I would not rate Armored Lizard as a very good monster, but he is okay. Yeah, you know what? I am actually going to use some of Joey's monsters. I'm going to give him Flame Swordsman, Celtic Guardian, and Panther Warrior. I almost said Black Panther. I was thinking of an entirely different creature. Celtic Guardian was a Yugi monster, but it's not that big a deal.
Pebbles, hi! Don't expect Seth to notice you. He's too green.
You are just obsessed with the insult cringe, and that's honestly starting to get really cringe to me. This way, Mokuba has a good team that'll get him off the ground to start. I'll probably change those monsters out as we go. In the meantime, we're definitely taking Mokuba with us. And Grandpa and Dinosaur. No. We're taking them both with us because we kind of have to take Marthas with us, but I'm not taking Marthas. Again, the guide I'm reading to get the monsters, it very heavily suggests just abusing Kaiba, the same way the last one has suggested abusing Yugi. I'm not going to be doing that. We've arrived at Marya Den Plains. The enemy is hiding in the town of Risfon. They will not come out to meet us. Why don't we give them a little demonstration by attacking the nearest village? We take gold and supplies from towns and cities that aid the resistance and defy the Emperor. What better way to stuff the Imperial purse than by taking a rebel town, eh? Currently, all of our teams are holding position in Marya Den. Let's select a team to send out to one of the nearby areas. To send a team into battle, position the cursor over the town the team is in and press the A button. Then select a command to have the team carry it out. Finally, move the cursor to the location you want them to go to and press A. This dispatches the team. Shall we get started? There's no traitor in the very first thing. What? We have control of one village and are hunting for any traders that might have gotten away. Once the news reaches the resistance army, they'll have no choice but to come out and face us. When they do, we can either fortify your defenses or take the opportunity to crush another village. What are your orders? Facing the enemy in a castle or town will give us the upper hand. He's using Mystic Horseman, Big Insect, and Connie Cobbletail. So he's using some shit monsters. What's wrong, Liz? Mystic Horseman's the only monster he's got that's actually really worth anything. We have encountered the enemy marshals. It should be an easy win. When two or more marshals meet in battle, each commands his monsters to attack the enemy. If you defeat all the enemy monsters, you win. If you are both unable to completely defeat the other's monsters, and both teams have no action points left, the team with the advantage wins. When a marshal's monsters are defeated, he must return to his main base. The marshal cannot return to the battlefield until his monsters recover. If the Kaiba team is defeated, then the entire unit is defeated. Since you don't seem to be your old self just yet, try not to take on more than you can handle. Curse you, Imperial curs! You will not break the will of the people! He's actually got a really good spread of action points here. I died? Oh. I love how much meaty impact his weapon feels like it has. Hello, Pebbles. The Raptor's dead too, with 2 kills and 2 losses. I always knew my inner hobo would do me well. Being attacked by a giant acid-spewing ant. Quick! Somebody call the EDF! Yeah, I figured he would. I knew I wasn't gonna get far. Like, raptors are powerful pack animals, but they're not very strong on their own. They're a bit like wolves in that they're only really, like, mega dangerous when you have to face a group. To save our Mother Earth from any alien attack, the EDF is here. Oh god, he's memorized the whole chant. Clearly I'm not actually a really good nerd. Did he just miss? Yeah, he did. God damn you, game. The main reason it is especially aggravating to me that I miss attacks in this game is action points are limited. So the fewer actions I have left, when I miss a shot, that's incredible. Fish, giant, and sexy have once again come back. Skill issue. Fucking Gaia over here leveling up like crazy. Mystic Horseman with that 6th action point, baby! Fuck yeah! Mokuba's monsters don't actually need the levels right now. Because I gave him a very venerated team of veterans. And there's no traders open right now, which kind of sucks. Okay, this guy has Octoburster, Ryukushin powered, and Dharma Cannon. Dharma Cannon is the throwaway monster he's got here. He doesn't start with any items, which kind of surprises me. Normally when a monster, normally when you do challenge mode, you know, you go into what is essentially New Game Plus, some enemy monsters will start having items a lot sooner. It's time to attack the enemy's main base. You cannot defeat an enemy in its main base, town, or castle simply by fighting better than them. You must force the enemy to flee or defeat all the enemy's monsters in order to win. It's difficult to defeat an enemy in their stronghold unless you surround them and attack in waves. Be careful not to chase your enemy too far. They might be leading you into a trap. Now let's go get the enemy. I fight for the people. I will win. Not with a team of monsters that weak, you won't. You might also notice his monsters are already level 30. This is kind of what I mean when I say the game catches itself up to you. Okay, we can eradicate Dharma Cannon right away, so that's pretty much my goal is let's just geek the weakling and then focus on the two that matter. almost afraid he missed it.
Giga Safe Fire!
Strobe light. Alright, let's go after Ryukushin power. In terms of the starting monsters that these guys had, they don't really have much to offer for lore. He missed that strike. God damn it. In terms of lore, there's the notion that Crawling Dragon was used by Bones after Bandit Keith slipped that, Zanky, and Crass Clown into his deck. However, after sliding those 3 monsters into his deck, and then having him summon all 3 of them at once, Bandit Keith had also slipped in Call of the Haunted, which, for that tournament, what it actually did was it allowed him to resurrect his zombies, or his fallen monsters, as zombies. So Crass Clown came back as Clown Zombie, Crawling Dragon came back as Dragon Zombie, and Zanky came back as Armored Zombie. From there, they got a field power bonus from the graveyard. So all 3 of those monsters do actually have a zombie variant.
Ow! Jesus! Dude!
That was a nasty crit. Look here, you shovelcock. He guarded and then immediately went for a spear throw. Unfortunately for you, your attack negated your defense. Gaia will catch up. Baby, you can't go in there. No, you need to stay out of that closet, honey. Pebbles, you need to stay out of that closet, sweetie. I know you want in there, but there's nothing in there for you. I know, there's nothing in there for you. Put that against the closet door so we can keep the closet shut. Gaia for the revenge kill, and he missed again. Alright. And because he got the kills, he got like 5 levels. Even if you defeat me, there are others that will avenge me! You did it! Well fought, sir. Even if you're not quite feeling right. Those rebels now know what a foolish gesture this revolt was. Preparations for the public executions are well underway. What a sight that will be, the rebel fools. Be quiet or I'll rip that tongue of yours out and feed it to the dogs. Yikes! Ryukushin Powered has joined your forces. Obtained Monster Reborn and 2 blue medicines. Hello, Callus. After the Maria Den massacre, Resistance forces ceased their open defiance, fearing reprisal from the Imperial Guard. Instead, the Resistance started attacking small Imperial security forces across the continent. The Empire has been unable to restore public order. Thieves are taking advantage of the situation, forcing the Emperor to send Kaiba to restore order in the Empire. The Empire gave the Imperial Guard direct orders to subdue a particularly nasty group called the Bandits. The Bandits, huh? See people playing this game. And they made a Kaizo version. Oh god, I've seen Kaizo Mario. That was nightmare-inducing. The Bandits seem to be focusing their activities on Vaxi Island. We cannot give these thieves their run of the Empire. We must stop them.
I suppose you have a plan?
We will pretend to be a supply unit transporting goods along the Central Way Road on Vaxi Island. If we make it look like we're unprotected, they're sure to attack. That's when we turn the tables on them. It should be easy for one of your talents. That reminds me. I believe you received some items in our last engagement. We can use those items by equipping the monsters with them. Just remember that you can't change your mind once you send a monster into battle. When preparing for battle, think carefully about which item to give to which monster. Alright, since Ryukushin Powered is actually Kaiba's monster, I might try using that for a while with him. Just to, you know, try to show off a few other creatures. Where is Ryukushin Powered? Oh wow, he's almost all the way at the frickin' bottom. And he's a fiend, so he needs Black Pendant in order to gain power. Give him a red medicine, and then I will pass him the Soul of Obelisk. Karibo is still the most disgustingly broken creature in this game. They did custom textures, etc. for the Kaizo version. It's great. Oh, okay. It's actually not that bad. They can change out teams for the most part. They did add in Breaker the Magical Warrior. Huh! See, Breaker was actually one of my favorites for low-level spellcasters. We've got to scrap with some bandits here. Jethro. Hey, isn't that Kaiba, head of the Imperial Guard? Oh no, no one said he was going to be here. Do something, boss! Shut up, you fool! You know what he's like. We don't stand a chance against him. So if we can't beat him, let's at least give him something to remember us by. That's the spirit, boss. That's funny. I don't remember Bandit Keith being such a candy ass. I do remember him being a cowardly wuss. The team arrangements are, yeah. I'm not going for anything like super skilled play here, but I did show off some of the more broken teams on Yugi's side. Like, Mai's Harpy Sisters are basically one of the most broken combos in the game. Particularly when they're all high level. I gave Mokuba some of Joey's monsters largely so he has something good to work with if I need an oh shit button. We have taken the fort. The few men the enemy left guarding the fort have also run off. Those thieves are going to try to do everything in their power to take the fort back. Should your finances allow it, you might want to consider strengthening the defense with equipment. Equipment? Equipment are offensive and defensive additions that made to a castle or fort that provide an advantage in battle. For instance, you could install a large cannon to fire at approaching forces, or construct a barricade. To install additions, position the cursor over the castle or fort and select equipment. Remember Keith beat up his goons to get all 10 star chips and went after Pegasus after he lost? Yeah! In the manga, we all know how that ended for him. Yeah, that actually ended in perhaps karmically the funniest way possible. It will be installed. Of course, each new piece of equipment requires money, so plan accordingly. I'm not gonna go over the fucking tutorials on how to use your money. I went over that in my Yugi campaign playthrough, which is on YouTube for anybody who wants it. So, Bones is coming at us. Bones is equipped with Phantom Duan, the Snake Hair, and Midnight Fiend. He's got a Fiend-based team. Zombies count as Fiends in this game. I guess they couldn't program in enough types on the disc. I don't know. But Bones is not a particularly challenging opponent. He will, however, be a nice addition to our army because he's not that bad of an ally. The Konami code still works for this game. Yeah, it gives you 500 gold every time you use it. I just wanted to do a playthrough where you don't do that. Phantom Duan and Snakehair. I know Snakehair can actually paralyze when she's high enough level, and I think this one is. I think she needs to be about level 30 to do it. With you at my side, I feel like I can do anything, boss. Yeah, don't get your hopes up, kid. I know Snakehair paralyzes. I don't know if Phantom Duan can. I don't remember. I do know that at its current state, Phantom Duan is pretty much the throwaway monster here. So you want to shit can that little bastard as fast as you can. How to enjoy my bacon butter. Poison Twin Claws. I believe that attack, yeah. The Midnight Fiend can actually poison. Oh, yep. I knew Snakehair could paralyze. Oof. Okay, I need to get rid of the Midnight Fiend. I can't have this guy poisoning my people. I'm rather annoyed that my monster that should be able to paralyze is currently incapable of paralyzing, and I believe it's, God, I don't know what it's called. I don't know why my Mystic Horseman is unable to paralyze with his paralysis scythe. Oh, his Spellbind does have a yellow effect on it. Yeah, it can actually paralyze. Okay. So I was right to geek the mage. I am gonna milk that blue medicine the fuck out of you, you little dick. Well, this died again. Oh my god. Her dino just cannot get an edge up. I need to heal my revision power. Oh god. That might kill her, actually. No? But the poison killed him! Oh, that's problematic. I knew Kaiba had a low-rate team right now. It's supposed to be what makes Midnight Fiend actually terrifying is the fact that he can poison. But I can build a healer there and it won't matter. I can just revive his dead Ryukushin power. It shouldn't even be that pricey at this stage. Kaizo with OG teams, and that's been, yeah. That's been a little special. Painful, maybe? If she has another in mind, I'd change it. Bring his monster back. That's been as special as Slifer on crack. Oh god, I'm imagining that now and it's hilarious. What can I say? I'm fabulous at... Liz, no! If you're gonna give her that, then at least give her the Spino. I don't know. Like, give her the Spino or something. As if they gave Raw all the anime effects. Oh, Christ. Raw had way too many special abilities in the anime that, particularly for how many abilities the other two monsters... Oh my god, that crit hurt. Particularly for how many abilities the other two monsters didn't have. Spino is large, the Metrodon is small. Well, I don't know. Give her something that won't die so easy. Oh wow, that paralysis actually wore off. And he missed! Yay! Well, let's paralyze him again, even though he's out of actions now. That makes sense. The Dilophosaurus. I don't know that one either. The paralysis wore off on him again. And it didn't even take effect on Mystic Horseman. Damn. Snake Hair is having really bad luck with her paralysis these days. You know, I hear 1 out of 10 women have performance issues, but I didn't think it was that realistic. I'm sorry. It's the acid, guys. I'm sorry, that joke was bad. Oh wow, they have red medicines cheap here. Holy shit. Alright, I'm buying a fuckload of those. Raw's anime effects. Oh, I know all of his anime effects. He just has way too fucking many. Okay. Bandit Keith has Cyber Commander, Dharma Cannon, and Robotic Knight. His Cyber Commander has a blue medicine. I should probably just beat the shit out of Dharma Cannon to get him to waste his action points on healing it. Because Dharma Cannon's attacks are actually not very good. If I need the Mokuba oh shit button, I have a way to do it. You know what I just realized, though, looking at Bandit Keith's army? Mokuba was, like, not Mokuba. Bones is actually more dangerous than Bandit Keith because of his paralysis. Bones was inarguably more lethal than Bandit Keith. Sent to the graveyard during the end phase, following effects may be activated at any time. Pay all but 1 of your life points to increase its attack power. If this card is special summoned from the graveyard, it cannot be prevented from attacking under any conditions. Yeah. Callus is monologuing. I'm not typing Raw's anime. Yeah, no, he's copy-pasting that shit. And frankly, he should, because, Raw has a laundry list of anime powers, and they're fucking stupid. As powerful as Obelisk and Slifer are, Raw don't, like, they don't even compare to each other. Like, Obelisk and Slifer don't compare to Raw at all. Do the Imperial dogs really think they can defeat me? Keith, you have 3 crappy monsters, and the only one of any worth at all is fucking Robotic Knight. And honestly, he's not even really worth it. Obelisk and Ra are tier 2, and Obelisk and Slifer are tier 2, and Ra is tier 1. You typed Ra twice there by accident. Yes, the gods do have a hierarchy. Ra is supreme. I would argue that Obelisk is supposed to be the lowest one on the totem pole, but that's not actually true. Fuck. Because because Obelisk and Slifer are just kind of the wicked gods have the same hierarchy. Yeah, they do. The wicked gods are the undead versions of all of the main Egyptian gods, for anybody who has no idea what the hell he's talking about. How have you only been streaming for 1 hour? Good question! I like the fact that Gaia still hits hard, even though he's low level. And he's climbing levels pretty quickly. I still think that the level of superiority that Ra has over the other two is a little stupid, because Ra has a ridiculous amount of fucking special abilities. Its first effect is that when you summon him, I want to watch Rookie. Can you hurry up? I could hurry, but it's not going to make the other hour go by. Stop being a great ass. Shut the hell up. Oh my god. He's guarding us. Pretty sure no, Robotic Knight didn't guard. He just waited. For starters, the way Ra works when you summon it, Pegasus, let me create indestructible monsters. Also, Pegasus, let me try and create perverted versions. And oh crap, they're scary. Stop. That's exactly what fucking happened too. Meanwhile, I'm hosting Dino Death Fights. God damn that crit! Mystic Horseman, ladies and gentlemen. I actually do kind of have a plan for Mystic Horseman. If I pick up Battle Ox early enough, my goal is actually to have Mystic Horseman and him show off fusion when I get a polymerization. Meanwhile, Ra, for starters, all 3 Egyptian gods require 3 tributes in order to summon. Excuse me. Ra is the most powerful, but its attack and defense points start at 0. Pegasus. Oh crap, they're mad! Surprise Pikachu face. Shoddy, it's clear to me now that you were not meant to control these things. Pegasus. But I want to control their great power. I can contain it. I won't let the world get destroyed. Me. Yeah, right. You won't let the world get destroyed because, you know, you're feeding the King of Hell souls with your Millennium item just so you can bring your dead wife back to life. You fucking douchebag. Ra's attack points are determined by and its defense points are determined by the subtotal of the attack and defense factors of the 3 monsters used to summon it. So what you do is you take the 3 monsters that you use to summon Ra, the Egyptian god, you add their attack and defense points, or you add all 3 of their attack values together, that becomes Ra's attack points. You add all of their defense factors together, that becomes Ra's defense points. To be fair, Pegasus got cheated. Kinda? Pegasus cheated a lot during his tournament too, though, to be fair. And also, look what he did to Mokuba, and Solomon Moto, and Seto Kaiba, just because he wanted his wife back. He locked their souls in prisons so he could expand his empire just to get his wife back. Doesn't everyone cheat? Yugi does through plot armor alone with how his cards work half the time to make them function in a way that lets him win. Pegasus cheated actively by reading the minds of his opponents so he would know what cards they're holding and how to counter. Bandit Keith cheats by having cards up his sleeve and trying to steal his opponent. He also technically cheated to get into Duelist Kingdom by stealing the star chips from his own subordinates and strong-arming duelists into duels that were lopsided and they weren't intended to win. Panic cheats by killing people who beat him with fire. Para and Dox cheat by killing you even after you beat them, by forcing you to wander into a maze until you starve and dehydrate to death. Seeker, the first rare hunter that Yugi duels in Battle City, cheats by using invisible ink and X-ray contact lens on a deck stacked with Exodia cards that makes his deck so fucking illegal it's not even funny, even though stacking his deck with 3 complete sets of Exodia in one deck of cards actually fucked him more than it helped him on numerous levels. Lubis and Umbra cheated by using a microphone to be able to strategize together during their duel when they didn't allow Yugi and Kaiba to do the same. Arcana cheated by trimming the edges of his Dark Magician cards in order to ensure that when his deck got cut, he would always have a Dark Magician on top, so that he always had easy access to a Dark Magician. And Merrick cheated by using multiple people against Yugi, through which he would duel as his flesh puppets. In addition to rigging a duel to kill Yugi, Joey, and possibly Taya if Yugi didn't cooperate. But would definitely kill Yugi if he cooperated the way that Merrick wanted him to cooperate. And would kill his best friend Joey if he didn't want to cooperate. That's far enough. Surrender now. You're not gonna take me in. Catch you later. If you're still alive, that is. Boss, don't leave me behind. We failed to catch the leader. Then his underling will just have to take twice the punishment then. No, wait! Please forgive me. I don't want to die. I'll work for the Empire if you let me live. Please! Ha! The Empire has no need for your kind. The only thing the Emperor expects from you is your head on a platter! I don't want to die. Spare me! Have mercy! Jeez, look at this poor guy. Don't you think we should save him, big brother? You might be right. He could be useful. What? He's guilty of treason against the Empire! If he is not executed, what becomes of the law? What of the law? You destroy for your own pleasure, not because the law demands it. I've made up my mind. I will accept responsibility for this man. Is that a problem for you, Marthas? Kaiba! I'm in charge here. Disobeying your commanding officer is a serious military crime. If I'm not mistaken, you'll pay for this, Kaiba. Oh, you'll pay! Thank you. My life is yours, Mr. Kaiba. I may not be very strong, but I am a marshal. I'll do anything for you. And then, infamous, I'll sacrifice God. Ishizu with her necklace. I'll sacrifice God? Oh, we got a red and blue medicine out of that. What do you mean, the infamous I'll sacrifice God? I don't actually get that one. While the Imperial forces Ishizu with her necklace. Yeah, Ishizu was kind of obnoxious doing that. Sounds like a convoluted way to kill someone. You have no fucking idea, dude. While the Imperial forces are busy trying to restore order, the Resistance army has been growing. It's so large now that it has launched an offensive on Ino Fortress, the largest fort in the Empire. The fort has requested reinforcements from the capital, and the Emperor has dispatched Kaiba and the remnants of the Imperial Guard. However, the Resistance forces are everywhere. Kaiba and his unit have suffered heavy damage. Kaiba and his unit finally reach Ino, but the Resistance army is too powerful. Things look bad for Kaiba when something unexpected happens. Oh, he says I'll sacrifice God in the Japanese sub? I was not aware of that. Wow. Okay, so Bones is actually kind of a competent marshal. I did not mean to actually remove Snakehair from his team. I'm actually going to keep her on his team because her paralysis is shockingly useful. I will probably get rid of Phantom Duin just because Phantom Duin is very weak. Like, you can kind of see the immediate difference in stats between these two. Phantom Duin is a very, very weak monster. And because of that, he's very easy to kill with items and traps and shit like that. So, I actually don't want Phantom Duin in my team. Midnight Fiend I might keep around because he can poison people. And poison is way more handy than you think it is. Yeah, I didn't know Kaiba said, "I'll sacrifice God" in that moment. I hadn't heard about that. I do think that I will give him Zombie Warrior for right now, although... No, I'm not going to give him Zombie Warrior. I can do better than that. Yeah, fuck it. I'll give him Summon Skull. Why not? Take a quick look and see if there's anything that would be better to give Bones. It's beyond infamous. Yeah, I didn't... Actually, I could give Bones Neck Hunter. Hang on. Neck Hunter is a better monster than Summon Skull. Way more action points, way more long-term reliability. That probably sounds awkward to some people, but the problem with Summon Skull is he just doesn't get to act very often. This is a pretty decent team. It's not ideal, but it will do. At least for now. Again, you'll notice I'm not using Marthas. There's 3 reasons for that. 2 of them are the monsters that he has, like Water Girl and Dark Plant are just shit cards. Dark King of the Abyss isn't very good. Dark Plant can poison, which is better than nothing at this point. But being able to poison isn't much. And Marthas will not stay with us for very long. He will leave for story reasons within a couple chapters. Yeah, I didn't know he said, "I'll sacrifice God." That's incredible. I really missed out. One weird note that I did figure out when Noah was monologuing about the power of Kaiba Corp in the Japanese dub is in the original Japanese, Noah notes that before Kaiba turned it into a gaming corporation, Kaiba Corp had enough munitions, weapons, and soldiers to wipe out 90% of the world's population before Kaiba destroyed it all. "Lord Kaiba, our rear units have been attacked and we've lost contact. We're the only ones that reached the front line. We're doomed. What are we going to do now, Kaiba? There's no way to even escape." "What are you afraid of? You're a program. Nothing but ones and zeros. How can you be so calm? And what the heck are you talking about? If you don't do something right now, we'll be wiped out. And you'll be the first one to die, Marthas. Why did I ever volunteer to serve with you? You're crazy!" He's not crazy, he's just tired. "And you, sir, are a fool." "That voice! Pegasus! How dare you join this insurgent rabble? You're a member of the noble families!" "My job is to lead the country on the path of truth, not to serve the Emperor. You and Emperor Heishin have been conducting the affairs of state most hideously. A crime for which you must pay." Amazing! He looks and sounds just like Pegasus. "Not only is our resistance more courageous than you will ever be, Marthas, we're much more clever, too. Surrender now and prepare to face my say you're sorry attack." He must be another character here, but even his personality is just like the real Pegasus. "All forces, attack!" I can't do a good Pegasus, I'm sorry. So that's what Pegasus looks like. Yes. Alright, I am actually gonna let Kaiba take defense, and I'm going to put Bones in a position to take immediate defense if Kaiba starts getting his ass kicked, because Kaiba's monsters really need some more grinding. Okay, those are just crappy. The enemy marshals should be making their way down here by this point. We're getting attacked by... Okay, Tiger Axe, Cannon. None of them have items. None of these monsters have items. 2 Hitatsumi Giants and a Giant Soldier of Stone. Okay. We'll go over there. Did you get Moisture Creature? No, I haven't picked him up yet. I actually don't know how. Okay, Cannon is the weakest monster here. All of these monsters are actually kind of dangerous. Let's just try to thin their numbers. I'm pretty sure you get Moisture Creature from Kaiba's campaign, but I don't remember exactly how to do it. Oh, I missed my first attack too. Gee, thanks, game. And my second one? Oh, come on! Did you get to the sever the supply line? Pretty sure we don't do that mission yet. Oh yeah, sure, they didn't miss any of their attacks. Screw you, dude. Okay, sever the supply line is mission 7. We're 4 missions away from that. So that's not going to happen for a while. Okay, Cannon is dead now. Oh, thank God they... Oh, no, he didn't miss. It looked like he did. Yeah, I don't... Moisture Creature is a monster that I am told there is a really, really annoying acquisition condition for him. In the Falsebound Kingdom Discord, they have a photo of where the creature spawns and the exact place. I do not have access to that Discord, sadly. I like how the AI didn't miss any of their attacks, and my first 2 literally got fucking useless misses. Yeah, I've actually done, God, what is it called? Hey, Ryukushin Powered got his 3rd action point, nice. I've done all of Yugi's campaign, and it's on YouTube if you want to go watch it. I didn't miss any of the monsters I don't think that he can recruit in one run. So, there's that. I don't know if I want a link to that is the issue. But I'm told that Moisture Creature is just one of those creatures that's extremely hard to get a hold of because they have a really weird acquisition condition. Apparently it spawns in a very specific mission, and right next to a specific area, and you just kind of have to hope and pray that it spawns while circling that area. Stone sword. Like, what exactly is the issue with getting moisture creature is kind of my question, I guess. Because I know there's some big issue with that. Is it even that good of a creature? In this game? Because I legitimately don't know. It's on a set time on the clock and a specific spot on the map. The guides I'm looking at here say that you need to wait 5 minutes after you go to a particular town in that area and build a watchtower and a cannon. Yeah, I used to have a lot of bots that would send bad links to me, so I had to create a chat rule and a bot to stop that. I'm sorry. It's not you, Callus. That's just something I ended up having to do for safety's sake. This guy's another Hitatsumi giant combo with Stone Soldier. That one is another one of those. I think I see where it is. There's something I'm gonna try when I get to that map. Yeah, head to that Discord link there and join my server. You can leave the link there, and I'll see about it later when I get a chance.
hot in here today. Interesting. Thank you for that, Callus. Sorry to make you have to do the level. I will have to remember to keep an eye on the in-game clock then. Wow, both of the status ailments came off of him. I just took a look at it and it gives me an idea. I forgot, though, that status ailments override each other in this game. If you poison an enemy and then paralyze them, it will override the status ailment for poison and then just paralyze them. I just gave, I gave Neck Hunter 2 bones just so he'd have a good solid buddy. They don't sometimes override, but I've had them last a while. It's entirely RNG based. Yeah, it's weird. It feels to me like every single round, whether the monster gets to take an action or not, there's an invisible roll of the dice that determines whether or not the monster is actually going to die. I just chose to wait it out and let the poison kill him that time. I just wanted to show you that poison is lethal. I know I've shown it off before, but there's an intentional showing of it right there. And I could not do it. I'm a bad person. Okay, where's the enemy boss? The enemy boss is down there. Okay, actually, I don't want to send Kaiba over there yet. I want to send him that way first. There are hidden values, and you are exactly correct. That's how they broke it down in making the Kaizo version. Oh, okay, so that explains what it is. Yeah, because I've seen status ailments just randomly get onto a monster and then get off of a monster for no fucking reason at all, with what felt like no real rationale. But as I got older and learned how video game coding sometimes worked, I very quickly realized there was actually a little bit more to it than that. And the way the coding works probably is what I ended up thinking. There are no tools for these, to see these, etc. Yeah, I didn't think there was. Oh god, he took a lot of damage here. Okay, he's gonna attack cannon and then I need somebody else to heal. You legit have to go into the source code. Yeah, see, and I don't know how to data mine source codes. I think that's my problem. The best I can do is I have studied what people have a tendency to find through data mining, and I've started to get a basic grasp, more or less, of kind of how
the coding of games work through that and through studying how a lot of people talk about it. And eventually I was just like, okay, so coding does a lot of really, really weird shit. And then I'm like, so what can I do to understand this? And then I started watching YouTube videos from a guy who actually is a programmer for a living, right? That's the guy who really started to help me understand how it worked the way he would explain it in detail. And that's how eventually I got to the conclusion status ailments in this game are really good and really bad. Paralysis is really good because it can lock down a monster that you really don't want to get off shots. But there's a problem. Paralysis, poison, blindness, they're extremely RNG based. And it feels like invisible dice roll essentially, or an invisible coin is flipped that you don't see in the source code. And it just basically determines whether or not what it lands on, that status ailment gets to continue. And some status ailments, you roll really lucky or unlucky if you're the victim of them. Other status ailments, you don't get so lucky, and you kind of get fucked really badly along the way. And Rev just threw out a whole bunch of dinosaur names, half of which I'm not even familiar with. I'm actually really annoyed that Tiger Axe is locked to Kaiba's campaign. That was one of Joey's monsters, and I feel like that would have been a good starting monster for his team. My understanding is that the speed values are scored in, like, golf. Lower speed equals faster. Okay. That's a really weird way to code that, to me. But back in the day, they still didn't really know jack shit about how to get that stuff to work anyway. That's really weird. It kind of makes sense the more I think about what I know of coding. Like, I'm not an actual programmer for a living before anybody thinks that I might be. And I'm never going to pretend to be before anybody assumes that's what I'm trying to do here. But I've developed a somewhat basic grasp and understanding of how coding kind of works. And it's different from engine to engine and game to game. So there's never quite a 100% guaranteed, this is how this works. And in a lot of cases, coding a video game, oftentimes, and this is something that I feel like a lot of people don't realize, it's very much a process of jerry-rigging everything until it works for you. It's not actually a process of, I programmed that guy to smoke a fucking cigar, or I programmed that gangster to toke a blunt and it just works. No, you have to code in like 15 different assets for him to be able to visibly have a cigar or a blunt in his hand, for it to move with his hand, and for his hand to move with it in it, and for it to actually fucking, let off smoke. You have to code in another 3 or 4 assets, because you have to code in the fucking smoke cloud, and how the smoke cloud is supposed to move and disappear. Like, just something as simple as a guy smoking a cigar or a cigarette in a game takes like 20 different types of coding antics just to make it work. It's really weird. Spinoraptor's a hybrid. Indoraptor I know from the films. Baryonyx was in Cretaceous. Camo was in some movies. I'm really not happy with Gaia the Fierce Knight not getting action points right now. And the Ceratow was the one dino in the group that you meet at the Dung in Jurassic Park 3. Okay. And this game is really strange, because it codes a lot of shit on really weird timers. Oh, hello, Dark Chimera, Shadow Ghoul, and Zanky. Oh, you have a medic! They're medic! They have a medic, guys! Zanky's gonna play medic. A Google Drive and Discord that shows the stats. I might take a look at that later. It's really weird. Like, the... coding to old video games is hilarious when you think about it. Kill him, Gaia! That's my boy! No medic for you. Just check to make sure it's safe. Thank you, Liz. I feel like an asshole thinking that. But I've had so many bots try to feed me malware links, it's a little stupid. I've had so many people come in too and try to feed me links to what they tell me is their Discord, and half the time they're also lying. They have the base game calculators for escaping and stats and Kaiba versions. Yeah, escapes are random fucking chance in this game too, and I hate that. Because it means if your team leader, like, say something really bad started to happen to Kaiba in this fight, at this point, if I hit escape, it kills all my action points, and then I have a chance of getting away. But I also have a chance of not getting away. Don't worry, I trust this guy. He's been on Twitch for 10 years, so... Yeah, his, they aren't random. Or she or they, I don't know. I don't want to pretend to know their gender. Seth the Raptor won. Wait, what? What? The Indoraptor won and survived? What? It's he. I used to speedrun and hold a world record for Resident Evil 2 Remake. 11 wins, 3 kills. Velociraptor. Wow! Damn. You held the speedrun record for a while for RE2 Remake? God damn, bro. I've played RE2 Remake a few times. I loved it. I haven't put it on my streaming list yet. I think I'm going to stream that game at some point. Oh, Kaiba leveled up. Your last opponent was a Dilophosaurus. Ah. How did I do? Did I get my ass kicked, or did I just, like, die after a decent fight? It was a subcategory, Leon B, shotgun only, and I beat it in an hour and 5 minutes. God damn! I know the B storylines you can basically use to speedrun the fuck out of the game. Unfortunately, I don't know that game well enough to speedrun it that well. For console, yeah, I have the console version. You won. Our Raptor is alive. I won the whole fucking tournament? Jesus. That's incredible. Normally the Raptors just get killed unless they're the Utah. That's what my experience has been from him telling me about these tournaments. 0 losses. Holy shit. Yeah, I play the remakes on console too. So there's that. Alright, I've given Kaiba a bunch of fucking levels. His monsters are finally starting to catch up here. I think I'm gonna send Bones over here to smack this guy around. Show off. God damn. Normally the creatures that I pick don't actually do well. So I'm a little surprised that that happened. You've played remakes of 2, 3, and 4. Resident Evil 3 Remake was trash. I'm just gonna say that. Like, as a guy who adores most of the remakes that have come out, Resident Evil 3 Remake fucking sucked. If you take that game in a vacuum, it's okay. But, like, it basically just kind of felt like an expansion to RE2 Remake. You'll love how escape is calculated if you go into the drive. Oh god. You've only seen Resident Evil 7 and 8. I mean, I could stream Resident Evil 4 again. Or the remake of it again. I don't remember if I've seen 9. I don't think 9 exists yet. Yeah, 9's not out yet. Somehow RE7 and 8 are viewed negatively. Resident Evil 7 is viewed negatively for a reason. Resident Evil 7 to a lot of people did not feel like Resident Evil. It wasn't really connected to the other games. It didn't have any of the original cast or characters that have become popularized by the series and franchise. And it played on a lot of slasher horror tropes rather than playing on the horror tropes of the actual series, and tried to play on a lot of supernatural horror elements. That's why people didn't like Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 8 actually pulled a lot of people who hated Resident Evil 7 back in. I didn't think RE7 was bad. I thought RE7 was good. I thought it was a nice change of pace from the original series. It felt like, to me, like they actually tried to bring the series back to its original system and setup. And you know, it tried to make the game action-oriented, which it was, resource-intensive, which it was, and horror-intensive, which it managed to scare me a few times. I liked RE7. 6 nearly killed it. A lot of people really hated 6. I feel like 6 was one of the biggest black sheeps to that series. Which says a lot when you consider that Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City exists. 7 was good for that. A lot of people didn't. Here's the thing though, Rev. Chris Redfield doesn't appear except in one ending, and even then, controlling him is something you do as a DLC character. Like, Chris appears largely as a DLC character. Hi there, I'm Lizzie, your new Resident Evil person. I can help you figure out the story of the Resident Evil franchise, Liz. I can. I like the co-op, but 6 was too Hollywood action-focused, mainly due to the Michael Bay and the tomb away from the horror film genre. Too much away from the genre. You could, but do I want you to? I mean, it's an action horror franchise that feels like a semi-cheesy series of action horror 80s movies. I love them for it. That's just me. I definitely feel like 6 was a really good game, but I don't feel like 6 was a really good Resident Evil game. Because 6 was a fun co-op experience, and it was hilarious, and it was one of the better co-op games that I had on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 4. But no, 6 was not a good Resident Evil game because it didn't scare, it didn't try to scare, not really anyway. There was very few moments where that game was actually scary, quite so much as just gross. And the story to it, in my opinion, tried to do way too much all at once and didn't really focus itself enough. I think that game would have worked a lot better if it focused a lot more on Leon, Chris, Piers, and Ada Wong trying to deal with Simmons and Simmons' people. The controls were scary. See, I disagree. Once you figure the control scheme out, that game is actually a cakewalk. Me and a friend of mine used to kick the shit out of that game on no hope difficulty casually. The controls seem better than 5. The controls to that game were way better than 5. It's judgment time for the Imperial forces. And Pegasus has a very true to his own. I only know about Leon and Ada because of Dead by Daylight. Save my soul. Pegasus has a very true to Pegasus team of monsters. He's got Parrot Dragon, he's got Dark Rabbit, and he's got his team monster Bakuri Box. And we kind of want to try and take out Dark Rabbit first. Throws bagel at best. Fuck Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight is not a bad game. Leave it alone. I don't care for Dead by Daylight either, but I'm not gonna shit on people who have fun playing it. Shut up, it's shite. Just add 2 world, why don't you? Yeah, I know, right? I love how when the enemy paralyzes me, 9 times out of 10, the paralysis lasts for fucking ever. But when I paralyze somebody, I'm lucky if they're paralyzed for more than a round. I have like 900 hours in that game, it's terrible. Play the fucking game, you would know it's bad. I don't know. I know a lot of people fucking love it. That's all I'm gonna say on that game. Does 7 and 8 have item management? Yes, they do. You have to be very resource conscious in 7 and 8. 7 especially. If you're not resource conscious in 7, you will fucking die. Rev, my best recommendation, bro, is go play those games. I played them, and I have played pretty much every Resident Evil game that's come out that has a story, except for some of the handheld ones. And I loved it. I loved 7 and 8. Stupid argument I heard from people disliking them is that they have no item management. Yeah, they do. They don't have item box management. That's the thing. Like, in Resident Evil 7 and 8, you don't have an item box. That's it. And, they only love it because it gives them views on Twitch. You don't see people playing Dead by Daylight. I love Resident Evil 8. Resident Evil 8 felt like I was playing a first-person shooter version of Resident Evil 4. No, go play 7. 7 is a good game. 7 deserves your attention. 7 and the main issue that I think a lot of people had with 7 and 8 is that 7 and 8 do not have a fucking item box. And frankly, if you think Resident Evil games need an item box to be good Resident Evil games, I think you have a fucking problem. No ill will towards 7. I didn't figure you did. 7 is really good, though. 7 is a really nice, like, action thriller chilling experience. I had a lot of fun playing RE7. I think that's gonna kill Dark Rabbit. Yep. Damn, he kicked Pegasus's ass. The only games of RE that I've played was the remake of 4. Fuck Outlast. I mean, I love Outlast, but fuck that game. The only thing I'll say about Outlast is that I'm told it has incredibly bad AI. I honestly don't know. Makes up for it in the story, though. The RV. He got rid of his poison. Oops. I attacked the query box. That was a bit of a waste of an action. Outlast has a story. Yes, Outlast actually does have a story. I didn't hit the A button a second time that time, Dave. What are you doing? Oh, let's just wait. RE4 Remake was probably the best remake they've had, period. And the only thing about that game that sucked was what they did with Ada Wong in separate ways. That was just terrible. I had fun using pistols there. Considering that's one of the few ammo types the game religiously gives you. Ooh, action point boost on my two monsters here. I will be swapping out one of Bone's creatures eventually. They're stronger than we thought! Retreat! Good evening, my young Lord Kaiba. Pegasus? Yes, it is I, Pegasus J. Kreutzel, your rival on the battlefield just some short time ago. I am the ruler of Maryaden, and now the leader of the Resistance. It's an honor to meet you. What brings you to the enemy camp, Pegasus? And why the fake retreat? Just what I thought just what I would suspect from the leader of the Imperial Guard. You saw right through my phony withdrawal. I am pleased that you realized it for what it was. I pulled my forces back because as we were fighting, I got a strange feeling that you are very different from the Emperor's other staff. That's it? A strange feeling? You cannot fool me, Kaiba. I'm not a patriotic nobleman and leader of the Resistance for nothing. I may not know why I felt what I did, but I'm sure I'm right. You have not sworn loyalty to the Emperor, have you? Perhaps. Then again, maybe I should just call for the guards and have you taken into custody. No, you won't be doing that. Like I said, I know. Anyway, the reason I've come to see you is to invite you to join the Resistance. Excuse me? We were in the midst of fighting a few moments ago. Why ask me to join? As the saying goes, yesterday's enemy is today's friend, and I have no problem welcoming you into the Resistance. I was once part of the Imperial Court, but as the Imperial Order's influence grew, so did my dissatisfaction. It turns a blind eye on its people and taxes them to support its own excesses. I joined the Resistance to put things right. The Imperial Order is being manipulated by a powerful figure.
I fight so that I may learn who is controlling the Imperial Order from the shadows and defeat him. Kaiba, I don't know why you pretend to fight for the Emperor, but you will reach your goal fighting faster fighting by my side. I guarantee you that. The resistance will continue to grow. The Emperor's rule is weakening and will soon be nothing but a memory. Join with me. Together we can...
What's happening in there, Kaiba?
I should go. Give my offer some thought.
There was a lot more to it, and I can use my last 8 minutes to be able to go over it. Framed. When Kaiba returns to Siegvarth, he learns that he has been summoned to court by Emperor Heishin.
What's the meaning of this, Heishin?
I won't have to put up with your impudence much longer now, Kaiba.
Explain yourself.
The court will now hear the case against Kaiba for disobeying military orders. Stand up, Kaiba! The court will now hear testimony from Marthas, Governor of Military Affairs for the Imperial Army. Explain Kaiba's crimes to the court, Marthas.
As you wish, Your Highness. Even though Lord Kaiba was given charge of the Imperial Guard and tasked with protecting the life of our Emperor, during the battle at Inu, I witnessed Kaiba having secret discussions with a member of the Resistance. His actions are a violation of Article 15, Paragraph 2 of the Imperial Military Regulations. At the same regulations that call for the execution of any person convicted of subverting the rule of our great Emperor. I ask that he be punished in strict accordance with the law.
There's your explanation, Kaiba. Do you have anything to say for yourself?
What a farce. This is so absurd I don't even feel like addressing the charges.
I'm fed up with your insolence! You seem to have let the fact that you do well on the battlefield go to your head!
So, Marthas, were you just looking for dirt on orders from Heishin? Is that it? But you needed an excuse to get rid of me legally. Now I see why you were so useless on the battlefield. What a perfect role for a wretch like you. Heishin knew he couldn't leave the army in your incompetent hands. He may be a useless old bag of bones, but he certainly found the right job for you. You're the one making deals with the Resistance. You never won on the battlefield. The whole thing was a setup. Only someone totally inadequate on the battlefield would come up with a story like that.
Both of you keep quiet. This is still my court. Kaiba, I will now pass judgment. You will be stripped of your rank as leader of the Imperial Guard and executed at noon on the day after next. Your execution will be public. It will be a good reminder. That is all. Any last words for yourself, Kaiba?
Nope. Other than to say I'd like to open your skull and see just how much of your brain matter you're missing.
At least I know that I won't have to put up with your insubordination much longer.
Don't get too happy. The excitement might be too much for your old heart. I'm sure a heart attack would be painful, even if you are just a program.
Take him away!
Psst! Seto! Over here! You're here. Good. Is everything ready? Yep. Bones said he wants to come with us. We've got a way out past the guards. Our escape from Siegvarth is all set. Good. Let's get going then.
They're corrupt members of the Imperial Court. There was a reason the Empire wanted to get taken out or needed to get fixed. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you on that one, Rev.
It wasn't easy, but Kaiba and company managed to escape from the capital and elude their pursuers. One person, however, was prepared for their escape. Marthas was waiting for them at Uruve Canyon. Alright, so that's the last fighting we'll be able to do today, unfortunately. But it's not really that big a deal.
To explain the story of Outlast, which is what I'll kind of go ahead and do, the idea behind Outlast is that Outlast was about a journalist who goes into what is supposed to be an insane asylum, and he finds out that the insane asylum was running a number of fucked up experiments on the prisoners. A lot of the prisoners are murderers, serial killers, psychopaths, sexual assaultists, you know, people of the worst kind of individuals, basically. And they're all lunatics. But a lot of them are also innocent people that were just nabbed off the streets and might have had a couple of medical conditions or mental ones. And what they were doing was they were trying to use specialized technology to fix people's brains. At least that's what they said. What actually ended up happening is the journalist discovers this strange entity called the Wall Rider running around killing everybody. What the Wall Rider actually turns out that it was a host of nanotechnology that was tied to somebody's brain and being controlled by it. They tied it into the brain waves of somebody who I believe died in the experiment of binding them to the Wall Rider. When the journalist is killed, something happens, and their mind gets absorbed by the Wall Rider, and they become the new control system for the nanotech program, and the cloud of nanites that makes up the Wall Rider starts killing all of the security staff that are still on site. Because he tries to escape, and he's shot to death by security staff near the end. The entire idea behind the game is you are trying to figure out what's going on here and why everything's going to hell and get out with your life. But you're not just running from the Wall Rider, which is trying to kill you. You're running from all of the patients who are trying to kill everyone they can. You are running from security staff who are trying to keep the situation from getting out, because if it does, the company that's controlling them, which is basically this universal's version of Umbrella or Weyland-Yutani, will be destroyed. And yeah, you're trying to expose the truth. The DLC Outlast Whistleblower tries to explain how the journalist found out about the asylum. A whistleblower sent out emails to the journalist that exposed some of the shit that went down in vague terms and got the journalist to come in. However, the whistleblower, I believe, was killed and dies at the end of the DLC. But yes, there's a lot of twisted sexual theming in it because a lot of the people that were in that asylum were sexual sadists. Oh, the whistleblower escapes. Okay. Then he got a better ending than the journalist, because the journalist dies and gets turned into the Wall Rider. Regardless, that's all the time we have left. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a nice day, and get ready for the next battle with the enemy, where we snap ourselves into a scrap with the Empire. Have a nice day.